they need these things to learn the hard work, the self-discipline. I like bragging about some of our kids. Of course, I brag about all of them. Some of them go on to really top-notch universities, and some don't. But one of the qualities that's consistent, they know how to work their tail off. But with the gifted kids, what happens, we've had one boy who's now doing his PhD work at Princeton in mathematics, in theoretical mathematics. He got a dual degree, MIT and Harvard. And you think, holy smokes. Well, he not only had the intelligence, but gradually he cultivated a phenomenal work ethic. Just phenomenal. Even his mother said, could you tell him to slow down, Mr. Debelak? Tell him not to do everything. I said, you know, number one, when they're 13, 14, they have boundless energy. And that's not boundless energy to hang out at the mall. That's boundless energy that can be channeled to productive behavior. So the kids who have that potential, wow, there's no limit to what they can achieve. And that's what you want. So the child who is maybe got an average intelligence, but they work their tail off, they will lead us to, as far as in the secular sense, a sense of fulfillment and satisfaction. And even more so for the child who's gifted, that they have all those opportunities. I would add to the character development the ability to be a problem solver. This is very important, especially, again, in our culture, the way it is today. It's always somebody's fault. It's always somebody has to give me something. And we begin in the 6th grade here, although it's much more effective at home. You study everything. Everything is always my fault. I can always make things better. Yeah, so-and-so may be a fool, and this situation may be hard, but how my life turns out is up to me. So I got to problem solve. I have to figure out what are the openings I have, what are the openings I don't have, how do I manipulate things, how do I make things better. And so when I talk about problem solving, it's looking at my life and, all right, what are my challenges, what are my opportunities, what are my problems? Let's go after it. Let's do something. That's vital for gifted children. They will be leaders. They have the capacity to lead. Well, they've got to have that kind of sense of responsibility. My life, people around me, is my job. I might not like what's here, but I'll figure out a way to make it work. I may not have the best situation there, but I'm going to find out a way to make it work. Problem solving, I call it problem solving. In literature, they'll talk about developing creativity skills, innovative skills. Actually, the root of being a creative person is being a problem solver. You look at your field, you can identify the things, oh, there's opportunity here, there's some challenge there. So the creativity to invent things comes not because you say, well, I'm creative, just give me my field and I'll figure out some cool thing to do. Creativity issues from identifying challenges, identifying possibilities, identifying problems, and then go after them. And so that's a part of, I'd say especially when your children are 11, 12, 13, to begin having conversations with them, to help them take charge of their life. We'll talk about what the good things are, what the bad things are. How do we make the good things better? How do we fix the bad things? So it's not just a top-down relationship, and I wish I had more time to talk about this, but you all have little children, so we'll meet again in 10 years. I'll have another meeting on this. How to coach your children in those years of 11, 12, 13. Those are not insignificant years. Their little personalities are just beginning to blossom. Prior to that time, they're just under your thumb. So they do what you want them to do. Get them to be about 11, and you see a little selfhood emerges. I'm somebody, Mom, Dad, I'm somebody. But the whole way of coaching them changes. How you guide them to be a partner in their problem solving. Okay, then the last two issues will be very brief. One, I think gifted children in particular need a lot of coaching in being socially aware, having social intelligence. Once again, whatever capacity, they're going to be leaders, whether by deed or by election, they're going to be leaders. For them, from an earliest age, and you can pose this question to your children, although if they're a preschooler, don't expect a whole lot. It's okay to talk about it. How they treat their friends, how they treat their teacher. Were you nice to your teacher today? Usually they'll just be clueless. Ask it anyway. Were you friendly to all the kids? Were you friendly to all the boys? Were you friendly to all the girls? You know, probably they weren't. They probably took stuff away, they didn't share. That's okay. You're talking to them about being aware of how to be a human being among other human beings. That's important. Again, my own opinion, I think this is the culture we live in is very me-centered. I'm the center of the universe, and that's so destructive. It's destructive to children, it's destructive to the social setting. So at the youngest age, begin teaching them. Ask them. People used to criticize me when I have 4 children. And when they went to high school, I made it a point to tell them, if you cannot be friends with everyone, that includes the guys that are like you, but also the guys that are troublemakers, maybe bad troublemakers. I don't mean hang out with them. Please don't do that. You do, I'll ground you. But you still should know how to be kind, how to be tender, how to be warm. There's no reason you can't be. I don't want you going out Friday night with them in the car. That's another story. But your humanity is improved by being rightly related to every single person you're around. And so for children to learn that, and I noticed this morning, sometimes I've been asking the teachers, am I just getting old and grumpy, or are kids getting more and more selfish? I can't quite tell, because I am getting old. And then you get more, you're complaining more. I hope I don't do that. But I wouldn't be surprised if I did. But the sense of entitlement, the sense of me, the sense of my needs aren't met. When I discipline the kids for talking in the class, I don't tell them you don't talk. I ask them, if we're going to learn in this class, everybody wants to learn, and Mr. Debelak wants to teach you, how should you conduct yourself? It doesn't take long for them to realize I better be quiet. Don't bother anybody. There's a big difference for a child to learn how to behave himself, being aware of the social setting, than just being bound by my rules and regulations in the classroom. Because once I'm gone, it all dissipates. But if they can learn to consider, no, the reason I'm quiet is because we're here learning. And the reason I'm obeying is because we're all here learning, not because I'm a rule follower, but I'm doing it for a higher purpose, and that is because I'm a part of this whole group. And therefore, how I participate in this group should benefit everyone. You shouldn't pass through any social setting, any group of people, starting with your family. I often tell the children, because you're in the family, the whole family should be blessed because of you. Meaning, you help dad, you help mom, you're a good older brother, or you're a good older sister. That should be something implanted in their head. That when I conduct myself, the people that I'm around, I owe them. I owe them to be both cooperative and supportive, so that as a whole, we're better off. I'm sure you all feel that way about your family. If everyone cares for the family, and everyone is concerned about brothers and sisters, and about mom or dad, how's the family? It's in good shape. Somebody may slip, and maybe has trials, and maybe has trouble. What do you have there? Because everybody's keen to that. Even, despite all the fighting you have, or the arguments you have, there's that sense of responsibility to something bigger than me. Okay.